Hey, Cameron.
Go, baby.
Cameron Grimes.
Drake, not now, man. I'm a little busy, Drake.
No, I need to speak with you, man.
Damian Priest got you pretty good across the face.
Damian Priest didn't give nothing. I'm totally fine. Look at me. I'm fine. Cameron Grimes.
I need to speak with you.
Drake. Okay. I'm a little busy, man. Go count 1, 2, 3 somewhere, man. I got 1, 2 right here. Yeah.
Grimes, I don't think you understand. I got Mr. Regal here with me on video, and he wanted to speak with you.
Hello, Cameron.
Hello, Mr. Regal.
What seems to be the problem?
Damian Priest hit me earlier, and I really think he broke my jaw.
Oh, you broken jaw, did you? You didn't seem to have a broken jaw when you were talking to these nice ladies before, so if I was you, Sunshine, I'd stop putting the act on and go and get warmed up because you're competing tonight against Finn Balor.
Mr. Regal.
Go and get warmed up.
Okay. Drake, get out of here, you stooge. What are you girls doing here? Nobody wants to go downtown with y'all. Get out of here. I gotta get ready. Get out of here.
What's up? What's going on? Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to the War Report. How you feeling? Day 835 of quarantine. How's everybody doing?
Man,
Summer's here.
Man, you remember quarantine? Like, Jesus.
Well, we never left it. So,
like, just the world has been going through so much that, like, I forgot that, like, not even going outside was supposed to be a thing.
well, I mean, everybody's kind of getting lax with masks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in case you don't know by the sound of my voice, this is episode, I think, 35 already. My name is Murjani. And that other guy talking is Cyrus. So, let's get into it. Of course, we had NXT Takeover in your house. Sunday, it was about 2.5 hours, which was good. It was over by like 10ish. That's how I like my pay-per-views. I don't like them.
Yeah, I'm loving the short pay-per-views.
Overall, thought it was pretty good. There were some matches I could have did without. Looking at in particular, the Adam Cole Velveteen Dream match. But I thought it was good. I thought it was a good pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. Of course, there was an outcome that I was not expecting that happened that made me very happy. And I'm talking about Io Shirai. Good on her. She's your new.
We want it for Christmas.
Champion. But I mean, I guess we could talk about it overall, and let's kind of branch it into this week's NXT, which I thought was particularly strong because we got to set up some storylines that go into, I guess, take us into SummerSlam. So, best match, worst match, real fast.
Best match, worst match. I guess for like best match, it's hard to not go with the women. I thought that match was I thought Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair was really nice. But in terms of like worst match, oh man, that's hard. I'll probably have to go with unfortunately, if I had to pick a worst match, probably Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano.
Oh, what? Expound upon that. Why do you think that was the worst?
If you know me, I'm not a fan of interferences, and that's the only match that like sort of had an interference. And I just think it had me in the first half, man. And then once Mia Yim and Candice LeRae kind of like came out and like, you know, caused like a whole distraction or whatever, it kind of like took me out of it a bit. And then I wasn't a big fan of the spot where like Keith Lee is like shrugging off Johnny Gargano's offense and like you know, he's like laying down on the ring, and then all Johnny could do is a super kick, and I was just like, come on, you can do like something else. But like that's a nitpick, so I don't know. I don't really have like a worst match, but I guess I have a least favorite.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think the match is bad.
I'm gonna go with the last chance backlot brawl because just simply the fact that I don't think that this match really meshed well with the whole cinematic universe that the WWE is going for. I think Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream had suffered because of a lack of heat. Maybe it was better kind of getting set up, and like maybe we thought Velveteen Dream was going to win before then, but you know, like it's just that Dream. I don't know what's been going on with Dream, but I don't think that he's really been strong in the ring lately. It's just to me.
Yeah.
And like it really suffered because of that. They tried to do a lot of stuff, especially with interference and Dexter Loomis, which was a treat. But I mean, it was the. I never thought that Dream was going to win. As weeks went on, I thought Dream was going to be the bridge to go to the next person, and we'll get to that once we talk about the show. My favorite, I'm going to actually go something different. I'm going to say Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa. The fact that it was the shortest on the show, and the fact that it was brutal when it needed to be, and the fact that and another thing that it kept Karrion Kross strong. Like, I didn't think that he, and it came out of left field because I didn't think that he was going to beat Ciampa that fast. It was the quickest match of the show. It was only 7 minutes. So, like, if you look into that, and then now you look at what happened Wednesday, then you start to get it. So, I mean, those are my picks. Of course, Io Shirai, Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, the ladies showed out. The 6-woman tag team match was also great too. Everybody got to do their stuff. I mean, Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano, I would say it ties into what happened this week, because it's not really a Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano feud. It's more of a Keith Lee and Mia Yim versus Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae feud, which is intriguing because of who challenges Keith Lee next. I mean, it was funny because that match was the longest of the show. It was 22 minutes, so they gave it time. You know, like, I don't know. I mean, like I said, solid overall, but I think that you need to save the cinematic stuff for the special matches.
Yeah. So far, the cinematic matches in NXT have just been okay to me. I definitely think that the kind of like, I guess, like scandal, or you know, the thing going on with Dream definitely like killed a lot of the heat of the thing, because like at that point, I guess like I feel like a lot of people didn't even want to like see Velveteen Dream, or you know, they were just like shaky on it, and plus like they kind of like scaled it back a bit where you didn't like see Dream at all. Like it was all Cole. And then you saw like a lot more Dexter Loomis than Velveteen Dream at some points. But I thought the match was like okay, but I do agree like it did have like a lack of heat. And I did like the Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa match a lot. That would probably be like my favorite, but I did enjoy the women's match a lot. And it's nice to see Ciampa not go the distance for once. I think that's very interesting.
Let's move on into the show, because there's a lot of stuff. There were a lot of building blocks to happen in this week in NXT. The Undisputed Era, let's just say that they have a lot of opponents. And I think this is the way that you're going to break them up, because the story with the Dexter Loomis match is, first of all, Dexter Loomis looked amazing. Like, if you're going to look like that in defeat, I think that he looked great here. He looked like I think that it was a championship audition, if you will, down the road for him. The story is that, like, there's always going to be interference, right? So you got Dexter Loomis and you got Velveteen Dream, and of course you pulled them apart, and guess who's kind of like around the corner? Karrion Kross. So if you're going to finally move Undisputed Era up, that's how you do it. You have to... Adam Cole is the longest reigning champ. He has seemingly beaten every single obstacle that has been in front of him. You know what I mean? And that includes main roster. So I could see where people think that, like, maybe this is too soon for Karrion Kross, but you don't sign Karrion Kross and then you have him kind of like waiting in the weeds for months. You got to give him that stage like right now.
Yeah. I think they're doing a good job with having Karrion Kross like kind of like lurking in the shadows or just like around. I believe like he was signed and then like 2 months later, he was beating up like Tommaso Ciampa backstage. So yeah, they're hopefully they really pull through with him, and they don't just like kind of just like have him matches and then actually like he already won like his first big takeover match, so I can't even say it could be like a Dijakovic thing. Like I definitely think they're gonna like they're pulling the trigger with this guy.
Yeah, I mean like he has star written all over him. Like the entrance, Scarlet. Like I love what they do with the with the whole like sand hourglass. I mean, I love his presentation, and I think that Cole can't drop. Like he can't just drop to anybody. Like you're not the longest reigning champ, and then you drop to no disrespect, but like Kona Reeves. You know what I mean? Like it has to be somebody special, especially if he moves to like SmackDown. I'm betting that he moves to SmackDown, but it doesn't even need like Karrion doesn't even need to attack Cole right away. He could just stalk him. Like, you know what I mean? He can make his vignettes. Karrion's great on the mic. He can use Scarlet and do things like that, and then like have the thing where you have the Undisputed Era kind of crumbling from within before you send them off.
Yeah, and I do think like Karrion Kross doesn't really need to like go in there and beat up Cole. I just feel like just taunting him will annoy Adam Cole to the point where Adam would be reckless and then go out there and do it himself, or like go and find him and then just get himself into something he's not ready for.
Yeah, he's basically like he's going to be the heel on the run, and then like how he. It's kind of in the contrast of what happened at the end of the match with the Dexter Lumis match, where he beat him, and then he's like, "You're a freak," like I'm not afraid of you. And then now you got somebody else who's an even greater threat. One of the criticisms with NXT is that they don't pull the trigger on people enough. Like they either pull the trigger on them, and then they wait too long to send them off, or they have guys like I'll use Kushida for an example. Kushida, hot commodity, everything like that. And now it's like, he loses in the tournament. He gets a whole bunch of wins when he first comes to NXT, and now he's kind of like an afterthought. You don't want somebody like Kushida to be that. He's special, So I think that with them doing this and pulling the trigger right away, like, let's get to it. I'm with it.
Yeah, man. So next takeover, it might be Karrion Kross versus Adam Cole. Who knows?
Yeah. NXT, there's a whole ton of what I noticed with the women's match, with Casey and Dakota. I don't think that they're setting up singles thing as much as I think they are doing like the women's tag teams, because if you see like you had Casey and Kaden. And of course, you have like Shotzi and Tegan challenging for the titles next week, whoever that's going to be for Backlash. And of course, you always have Dakota and Raquel. Now, Dakota, she said she's coming for the title next, but I don't think that's not going to be like the program. I think Io and Reyes still have some unfinished business, and I think that's going to take you into SummerSlam. But what a lot of people have been wanting is to build up that tag team division. So with Shotzi and Tegan getting that rub, now you can kind of, with these secondary storylines, now you can have more challengers for a Bailey or a Sasha or like
whoever wins at Backlash.
Yeah.
I think like everybody like right after Takeover or was it like, I don't even know what triggered all the conversation for the tag team titles, but like everybody was like really like on WWE's ass for like not like, you know, kind of like shaping the landscape for it. And then they're just like, oh no, we got it. And, you know, everybody kind of got what they're asking for this week with, they got what they wanted this week, and then they're going to get the match next week. So like, it's good to see that, it's good to see the tag title actually be on a different brand for once again. And it seems like NXT is like the only place it really goes to. Like, it's like SmackDown to NXT.
Well, I mean, we'll see, because like presumably as we go back to normal, and I don't think that they're going to be going into doing like shows with fans like that until next year. You might as well take advantage of everybody being in the same place. So like Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are within the same house. So like you might as well get all the tag team combinations that you can while you can. So I'm all for it. Of course, on the men's side, you have it stacking up because you have that Breezango package where it seems like they took on the body of basically Tyler Breeze's story, where he goes back to NXT after a failed main roster run, and he's trying to prove himself. And now Breezango is, you know, the number one contenders. Then you have Enter Share, they're the powerhouse team. Then you have, of course, Imperium, who are tag team title champs, and then Lorcan and Birch. So you have four teams there too.
I'm not worried about them at this point. When I saw a 205 update and I saw them losing to Tahuti Miles, bruh, man, I don't see tag team gold in their future, man.
I don't think they're gonna win tag team gold. I just think that they're just right now just kind of like bodies to have to fill out that tag team division. But that's your 4 for the men.
I did like the Breezango video package a lot. Like, you know, a lot of people in wrestling like want people to have like a serious character, and I think, you know, Breezango's trying to do it as much as they possibly can. Like, I'm not saying like they're not taking it too seriously, but I did like the video package a lot. They are going to take this opportunity very seriously, even though like Breezango is basically like a veteran at this point, but he's not going to take Imperium likely, and neither is Tyler Breeze. So will they win it? I doubt it, but I do think I do like what they're doing with Breezango right now.
So you have that. Of course, you had, hats off to Cameron Grimes. They actually did some character building with him. He's like the cowardly heel. It was funny. It was kind of funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he actually had a face.
My man chatting up the ladies, bruh. I did like that a lot. I guess, like, I don't know. It was weird. Like, he was oddly confident about wanting to beat Finn Balor. You know, and then, oddly confident about beating Finn Balor. So I was just like, you know, like, have the confidence to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. I thought it was weird that he wasn't confident to do it again. And then they were like doing the Damian Priest stuff, and I thought that was really, really fun as well. It seems like Damian Priest is a face now, or
he's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I noticed during Finn Balor's match, which we'll like get into later, much more later, but they were cheering Finn Balor.
No, we get into now. Like he.
Oh yeah.
He's a tweener to me, but he was definitely playing the face role heavy in this match. Like They were cheering for him. Of course, Cameron Grimes is the cowardly heel who tried to fake the broken jaw and got caught. But yeah, it's weird because I'm like thinking like, okay, so Keith Lee is obviously the face, but like Finn Balor is coming in as more of a face tweener kind of. So like, what role is he gonna play? Like, he's Finn Balor. He could do whatever the hell he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I know people want like the Damian Priest and Balor thing. That's why I like thought it was interesting that like they're not like they're not necessarily like the bad guys here, but it seems like Finn Balor has a new direction. He's looking at Keith Lee, and then earlier that episode, Keith Lee was looking at Cole. So I think that's very interesting as well.
I think we talked about that last week. I think I would have thought that Keith Lee would be the guy to go after Cole, but they're doing Karrion Kross, and I don't think Karrion Kross is going to do that to lose. So like, because I thought Johnny Gargano was going to win, but he didn't. So I'm like, all right, Finn Balor is going after Keith Lee. I think that he's going to dethrone Keith Lee. This is looking way into the crystal ball, into the future. I don't know. But Johnny Gargano, I feel like there's unfinished business there. So you have this dynamic where Finn Balor has beaten Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano might want revenge on Finn Balor, so they may have to lengthen time because we still have time to get to SummerSlam or SummerSlam Takeover. You're going to have, maybe you have Johnny Gargano basically like challenge Finn Balor as a number one contendership. I could see that. Or you could have a triple threat, and NXT loves their damn triple threats.
Yeah.
So like you have a triple threat down the road. Like there's possible ways where you can go and do that.
I would prefer a number one contendership before like the next takeover. I don't really need to see I don't know if I want a triple threat really, like, because I feel, well, Charlotte looks like she's done in NXT, but like you didn't pin me in the triple threat, and then you get like another secondary feud just to like give it more longevity. But I would prefer if it was just like a singles match between Balor and Keith Lee.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if I want to see another triple threat with that title, because we had Keith Lee, Dom, and Damian Priest.
He murked both of them.
Yeah, so like, I don't know if I really want to see that again. I would want like a definitive number one contender, and then have a proper build that way, instead of kind of, you know what I mean, like, all right, well, it's gonna be Gargano and Balor versus Keith Lee. Like, let's get one guy to go after this.
Yeah, it's small, but like I'm not necessarily like I don't want to see a triple threat. I just want to see Balor and Keith Lee do their thing, and I'm curious to see where Damian Priest goes. Like, he did have a really nice match at Takeover. He did the interview where he was talking very positive, very face-like. So we'll see what happens there.
Let's finish up and let's talk a little bit about the cruiserweights. When this first started, and when Drake Maverick was talking, I thought that this was definitely a makeup before. For what happened last week, because you had El Hijo win the title, but it was immediately kind of an afterthought.
Drake Maverick's moment.
Yeah. So like that happened.
Like I said, he wins the title. Everybody kind of congratulates him. He leaves, and then the episode ends with Drake Maverick, the loser, getting his job back, and they play his music and all of that. So I'm not too surprised at the heel turn here. The unmasking, I wasn't too. That was, I guess, kind of reminds like. It kind of reminds me when they when they unmasked Rey Mysterio, and it was just like, nah, bro, he in WCW, and it was just like, nah, like the mask is money, man. So, you can sell replica mask and all that shit, but it is what it is. We have what is his name? Let me see.
He's Santos Escobar.
Yeah. Fire.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that they did the unmasking here, but they might still wear the mask. I was fans that they are utilizing Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde to have a little stable to go with that cruiserweight. Because if you look at 205 Live, like, it seems like they do have good matches. Like they were having good matches when Leo Rush and like others, like with Kushida and like when they were there, but it seems like they were the forgotten brand, and like a lot of people have complained about that. Now you have a storyline where you have like this heel faction. Drake is gonna chase. Let's see what he does there. If he's gonna be able to overtake these three, you might have, like somebody like Kushida or Jack Gallagher come in, like join him and try to fight the other two. But this holds off until Jordan Devlin gets back. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but like Jordan Devlin, he's obviously going to want to fight Santos Escobar. He's the champ, and Santos is kind of the interim champ. So like, it's a good placeholder, and it gives a little shine on the cruiserweights.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely more shine than 205 Live. But I thought at the start of this, at the start of the segment, I really thought that Drake was turning heel, or he was going to be like, like, that's cool, I got my job back. I guess like basically like what he said, but like more in a dickish way. But he came off as very confident, and I guess like hopefully the match is better than the last time, because that match last week wasn't really that nice. But Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza are the two masked men. I think that's very interesting. And they could possibly be a tag team as well.
Yep, you're gonna have them go. You have them go after the titles.
That'd be really cool.
Nice.
And then
yeah, that's pretty much it for NXT. Like we've kind of like thought this was a good show this week. This was a good show with a lot of storyline implications going down further. You got a lot of challengers. You got a lot of people looking into the camera and saying, "I'm next," or "I'm going after you." Like it was like calling out their shots.
Really, really funny segment with Rob Stone and Rhea Ripley, because Rhea Ripley killed that man.
Yeah, not looking too good for the Rob Stone brand right now.
Yeah.
Not looking too good. Because presumably Chelsea Green's on the way up to either Raw or SmackDown, and Aaliyah is MIA, at least for this week.
Aaliyah on Twitter said, "Leave me alone." So it doesn't look like she's going to be joining the brand.
Well, never mind. Stranger danger there. It's not going to work. It's not, well, Rob Stone might be, if he can't wrestle, might be on his way looking out for a job soon. If you can't get any clients, like you gotta, gotta figure it out. All right, let's move on to AEW because there's some stuff to get to. FTR.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I knew you were not going to be a fan of this episode. You stated it, but this week. I liked some stuff, and then there was some stuff that just randomly happened. And I'll just say that. There was just stuff that like, hey, you know what? Remember this? Or, hey, we need to fill some time. I'm gonna pick up two segments to me that happened that was just random. The Darby Allin and Tony Hawk thing. I was like, all right, he's doing tricks. He's not cleared, but like Tony Hawk is, I guess, coaching him to do that spot. Maybe, okay, and metaphorically, maybe because that's what he got hurt on in the ladder match and him completing it, that's him getting over the hump. I thought that was a little weird. The MJF Billy Gunn segment, I'm like, all right. I mean, he harps on the nepotism. I'm like, are they building up between MJF and Billy Gunn fight? I don't really know if MJF is billing himself to be, I guess, the litmus test. Why would you go after a guy who's over 50 years old?
Yeah. I think there's a lot more on this episode. Like, nothing. Like, I think the FTR and the Young Bucks thing, like, I don't like the segment at all. Like, jerk off motion. Like, the Young Bucks really just wants to put themselves over and talk about how great they are. And then, like, everything else on the episode was just like, let's throw stuff on the on the board. Like, whatever, man. This episode is not really great to me. Even like the women's stuff, I was just like, yeah, this is average at best.
I like the women's match. I mean,
I didn't like the women's match.
I mean, I liked aspects of it. I think that in terms of the women's match, Chris and Shida worked really well together. The Penelope thing had me like head scratching. Well, I mean, if Sheeta's gonna have a long title reign, she's got to have challengers. So you know, she can't have that rematch yet with Nyla yet. So like, I guess it's gonna be her and Penelope at Firefest whenever night they decide. The FTR segment. You can. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to say this, and I'm not trying to be too negative. I don't want to be overly negative. FTR and Butcher and Blade. I mean, there were points in the match where I thought it was okay, but you can tell that these two teams do not know each other well because it didn't really work. There were some parts of the match that didn't really work, but I will say with the Young Bucks thing, they've been building up to that forever. I know a lot of people don't like the Young Bucks. Self-inflicted wounds, okay, but you would be hard pressed to say that they have not done a lot for tag teams. They have. Like, let's call it for what it is. But the second, okay, so at the end, we're having all the tag teams come and fight. I was like, all right, like, what are we doing here? Are we doing a triple threat tag team thing between Kenny and Paige, FTR, and the Young Bucks? What are we doing with like Kip and Havoc? Like, are they in it too? Like, it was just like, it was weird. Like, it was just like, all right, guys, all of you go out there. Like, everybody go. Like, go. We have to show everybody on the roster. That was a little weird to end the segment.
Yeah. Like, I said it on Twitter when the match was like announced, or at least when I don't know which one tweeted that, like, what's not going to happen in the match is going to be this and that. And then I just said, like, realistically, on paper, Butcher and Blade, like Butcher and the Blade versus FTR should work, because, you know, it should be like no styles should be clashing here. Like, it should really go flawlessly or like seamlessly, you know. And then I guess I forgot to. I just forgot that Butcher and Blade are just not good. Like, I don't know what happened there. They do the Good Night Express or whatever, and you know, Andy Williams take it, and it looks very bad and very awful. Yeah, there are aspects of the match that were okay, but I don't know. I really felt like that match should have worked. And then as far as the Young Bucks thing, them, we didn't get to like introduce ourselves, but like Excalibur literally seconds before said they have a long history together.
Okay, that was a little facetious. Like, it was just like, okay, you guys know each other. You were doing the whole fuck the revival thing. You guys know each other.
Yeah.
Like that. We didn't properly. Okay, I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and it's just like, people that watch AEW are
they ain't stupid.
Yeah, they ain't stupid. They watch your little bullshit YouTube show. Like, they know what's going on here. And I just think, like, if you're not going to do this match immediately, then like let's stop that.
Nah, I mean,
like no, we gotta stop this. Like, either you have the match and you don't, like, you have to stop with the teasing it, because we know it's gonna happen. So either you just put him in the match, or you stop this. We're just gonna loom in the background, like this is a match that's always gonna possibly happen. Like, just do it.
Can't have it. No, you can't have that right now. I don't think that I think that you have that payoff at All Out. You don't do that. You don't burn that at Firefest.
Then stop having them do segments together. I don't want to, like, if you're not going to give it to us like at the next pay-per-view, then stop it.
But that's okay. So that is the contrary of what people have been saying, because people like long build-ups, right? So what do you want? Like, do you want a long build-up, or do you want a quick end? Like you know what I mean? Like, what?
Well, if I'm FTR,
Japan, this would be a year build.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be watching. I don't like and also just like the Bucks saying that they're the best tag team. If I'm FTR, you're saying that you're the best tag team and you don't have championship gold on your waist, AEW championship gold on your waist, then what are we talking about? They should be aiming for the title, not for the Young Bucks. And I know that's like the money match, but that could be the money match, after they get the titles or something like that. And then them saying that they're the best tag team. Okay. Let's not act like, ROH didn't have a whole bunch of other great tag teams, while the Young Bucks was on their rise. That's just a nitpick on my part.
No doubt. No doubt. Even WWE. I mean, like, Usos, the New Day.
Let's not forget Motor City Machine Guns. Like, y'all guys were probably the nicest in Rashida, but like in ROH, there was like a really like great tag teams before you guys came.
Yeah, but like, okay, so are we saying that the Young Bucks aren't great because we don't like it, because people don't like them?
Oh,
or
no.
It's just that like
that. At this point, it's just like, personal taste. Like, I personally don't think like the Young Bucks are the best tag teams in the world or anything like that. So them going out and like saying that with like, oh yeah, and it's just like, oh, look at their like, prove that they're the best tag team, and then you're gonna show me like Dave Meltzer like ratings. Like, it's whatever.
Well, I don't think they did that in the segment, but I was just saying,
they didn't like do that in the segment. But like, if we're like, talking to anybody, it would just be like, oh, Meltzer shit, and it's just like whatever. I mean, like, it's really all just personal preference. But like, I'm not too big a fan of the Bucks.
Well, I'll say from my standpoint, some of the best in the short history, some of the best AEW tag team matches involve the Young Bucks. Like, it is what it is. But as of like the best tag team in AEW, if you had to ask me today, it's Kenny and Paige.
Yeah,
to me, like, it's Kenny and Paige. Even though we haven't even seen a lot of them because of Corona, it's Kenny and Paige to me. They're the best tag team. I just don't think that, like, I with that just to me with that build, you can't. I would not do FTR and Young Bucks on a Dynamite. That's like giving away Goldberg. Mm-hmm. Okay, Goldberg and Hogan was a little bit bigger Okay, like that was like 50,000 or 100,000 people at the Georgia Dome. Okay, but like that's a huge match to give away on free TV. You got to do that in All Out. But I think the way to get to that is you gotta. I hate triple threat tag team matches. I don't like them. I don't like that. Like AEW does so many of them. Like narrowed it down to, but I think that you're gonna have to do the disillusion between Paige and Kenny to get to that and have either FTR or the Young Bucks win the titles, because you have to have. I mean, then again, you could have that match FTR and the Young Bucks be on its own merit, but at the same time, I would rather that be for a title. So, like, if the Young Bucks are saying, like you said, if the Young Bucks saying they are the best tag team in the division there or the world, put a belt on the line. And it's the same thing with FTR. Like, you guys are the, I guess, like, old school, no flippy, floppy stuff. Raise the stakes here. And that, unfortunately, is going to have to be at the expense of Paige and Omega.
Okay. So, just with that, one, if I'm Hangman Page, I'm taking disrespect to them saying they're the best tag team, especially after I beat their ass.
He showed you.
Two, yeah. But, like, nah, definitely a slap fire out of his mouth. But, and then it's just like, okay, like, let's say, like, this is the secondary tag team feud, right?
Okay.
No matter who the opponents are for Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, I feel like that the Young Bucks and FTR is definitely going to be what overshadows, like, it, like, no matter what. So, yeah, I do agree. Like, it has to be for the title.
You might as well.
No matter what. So, it's just, like, it's going to take a long time to get there. You know, so that's why I'm really like, you know, hold off on them, you know, having all these confrontations and stuff. Because like you said, like, I personally don't want to see this for the title. You know, you can't have the best tag team, you know, to show who's like really the best in the world with no, like, you know, gold being involved. Because, you know, wrestling, you know, quote unquote wrestling logic, you know, when you're in a tag team match, you go all out, you do your best to obtain or retain. So, you know, just having a match with no gold doesn't really, like, you know, do anything for me, especially, you know, in the you know, since they're like traditional guys or whatever, and, you know, they don't do the flippy stuff, you know, Revival doesn't do the flippy stuff, and the Young Bucks, you know, do their new style. So I think it's going to be a styles clash. Okay. I don't think that match is going to be as great. Hopefully it's good.
We just did all this talking about this, right? Firefest, the best friends are actually challenging for the title. See how convoluted it is? You forget, like, oh, there's another team that's actually going to fight for the title. Like, you know what I mean? You got Paige and Omega, like, in the middle of all of this, but they have a title defense. So, like, there's a lot of damn tag teams in this division. It's almost like it's too many at some point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. They got to figure that out, because it's just like,
I like, too long, didn't listen, whatever. I just think it's too early to be like really like doing this the Revival and Young Bucks thing, and gold should definitely be involved, and, you know, like, FTR should really be focused on Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Like, they shouldn't even be looking at the Bucks right now.
Moving right along. Jericho beat up Cassidy with a bunch of oranges.
Dog, that match, dog, the Inner Circle is a bunch of losers, bro. Like,
he beat the hell out of them with oranges. Like,
beat him with blood oranges, and then Jericho said one of the corniest things ever.
That's something like squeezed, right?
Blood orange Cassidy has been juiced.
Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ!
I was like, oh, what a dad joke.
really got him, bruh. Also, Jericho's on commentary this episode, so that's another reason why I didn't really like it too much. Yeah, once again, the Inner Circle lose, and then it goes into another brawl.
Yes, this happened this happened at the end of the night too.
Yeah. So that's that. I don't.
Well, I mean, like,
I don't really care for the Inner Circle.
Well, Sammy Guevara is obviously the star there.
There's like 3 brawls that happen backstage. I mean, 3 brawls that happened this week.
Well, I mean, okay, so you had Santana, Ortiz, and Hager. They beat up Orange Cassidy. Then you had the end of the night where Cody and Quinn get done, and then Hager comes down, and he's challenging Cody, and then the Inner Circle gets into a brawl with Cody, Matt Hardy, and Private Party. So that happens. So, like, Inner Circle are within 2 or I think 3 storylines. You know what else is weird? I'm going to circle back to the beginning of the show. So, Shawn Spears and Lance Archer are watching, and they said that they are watching FTR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Shawn Spears and Archer teaming up? Because I'm like, all right, like, they're hinting at this, but I'm like, God damn it, another tag team?
Also, I think that's a demotion, honestly. Lance Archer working with Shawn Spears, turn that off. Don't want to see it.
I'm like, all right, man, like, another tag team? Like, it's... What are we doing with Lance Archer? You know? And also... speaking of returns, we had a couple of Dark Order returns. Evil Uno.
Yeah. A tag team returns.
A tag team returns that is undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They're undefeated. They're ranked, I guess, number 2 right now. But no allusion to them even getting back into the race. So, with that storyline... looks like Colt Cabana might actually join the Dark Order.
That's cool. Like, sorry, like, I'm overly negative, but I've never really been a big fan of Colt Cabana. Like, not even in his ROH stuff.
That match was okay. It was just okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like Sammy and Colt. Okay. So Colt loses, and then he gets enticed by the Dark Order to join. You know what I mean? It was all right.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of all right matches in here on this episode of Dynamite.
And speaking of more tag teams, I'm on AEW's Twitter right now, looking for a cover. And Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela might be a tag team. So there's another one for you.
There's only one set of belts, guys. There's only one. You know what I mean? Like, there's only one set of belts. I mean, I guess they have Dark to fill that out. I don't. It just. I don't know. I don't know. It's just.
But yeah, man.
And then you have Jurassic Express whenever Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus tag team together, or so.
I feel like
tag team turmoil.
I feel like Luchasaurus. I feel like Luchasaurus might get like a shot at the TNT title. But before we talk about the Cody match, I just want to talk about Matt Hardy coming out after Sammy Guevara's match.
Okay.
To do the whole thing. I thought that segment was awful.
You don't like the personality switches?
No. You say certain key phrases and it just turns on, and then he starts speaking weirdly. That part didn't really bother me, but I just think like them having a match again, like, for what really?
It seems like okay. It seems like he wants to take Sammy under his wing. Well, one of the personalities, and then you had the fat. I guess. I'm sorry. You had like I guess version 1 Matt right now facts, and then you have broken Matt who wants to fight Sammy. So like I guess he's at war with himself, and then he comes down and does the save for Cody.
Yeah, that sounds cool and all, but nah, I'm not trying to see him wrestle again.
I know you're not.
I like Sammy Guevara can really wrestle circles around this man, so I don't know why we got to see it again. Like, I guess is like to really give Sammy the rub, but like, does he need it any more than being like the only winner in the inner circle?
No, I mean, like even Matt said in his promo, like he's like, "You're the shining star of AEW," and he is.
Yeah,
he has been. So like, he just gave him the rub there.
It's like, do we have to have another match?
To finish up, Cody and Mark Quinn. Mark Quinn is selling that ankle or knee. And,
and commentary lets you know it. Lets you know that he is not 100% for a lot of that match. And it's just like, hey, man, if you're not 100%, then just don't have the match. Come back when you're stronger.
Maybe you should let Isaiah Cassidy do it. But
yeah,
because there were some spots in the match where like he's hurting and he's selling it, and then like he still does like 3 moonsaults or like some or topes over the ropes, and I'm like, damn, he still got over. Like, you know what I mean? Like
and then it was just like, I just think he's this was a weird opponent, but because I guess I was fairly concerned about him last week, because I thought the ankle injury would be a lot worse, but he decided to wrestle with it and then or wrestle through it, and now he's going to be doing like Private Party's going to be doing a match with Matt Hardy, like they're going to be teaming together. I guess.
Yeah, another triple 6-man tag on the way.
Yeah, man, I can't roll with this shit, man. This episode of Dynamite, this one hurt.
I mean, like, I'll just say, like, it wasn't their strongest. Like, AEW works when they have things more in line, in tow. Like, there's a flow to things, and it just seemed like this week they had a bulletin board, and they're like, all right, man, how do we get as many things as possible on the show as we can? Okay, here. All right, cool. We have 2 hours that we're just going to try to fill every second of that 2 hours. Here you go. That's how I felt like it is. Like, you didn't have time to kind of breathe and take things in. Like, stuff didn't flow. Yeah. It was like, hey, all right, that happened. All right, cool. 6-man tag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here we go. Like,
having three sort of brawl segments with like more or less the same people. Nah, son. This episode's not going to work for me, partner.
Yeah, it wasn't their strongest, but hopefully next week they could get back.
Penelope Ford. Yeah, and then Penelope Ford's number 1 contender and an okay tag or triple threat. I'm not sure what it was anymore.
Hopefully they get back on track next week. I mean, like, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Did you watch your Luther matches?
I did.
I'll
just say
my take on.
I'll just say it
Go
here.
ahead.
Luther had matches. There were matches that happened that Luther was a part of.
And if you go on his cage match, he definitely has accolades under his belt. But it feels, it just feels like these accolades are, oh, you were on TV. Here's this belt from promotion from buttfuck nowhere. Maybe the Hard Dungeon was a bad thing.
I did watch, what Luther matches I watched? I watched the Sabu and Dr. Luther match for the ECCW title. He's got like this whole misfit, the punk band, the misfit haircut going on. Of course, with Sabu, you never know what you're gonna get with Sabu because like he's gonna do some hardcore stuff. He's gonna botch a lot of hardcore stuff, and there was definitely a lot of botches in that match. There was a match where like he is a part with Daniel Bryan that I showed you. That was Daniel Bryan was in it, so
Daniel Bryan was in it, and I can say that was the only highlight of it. But this is a very young Daniel Bryan. Like he's still going. He has the nickname of the American Dragon. So, but I think this might be pre ROH GOAT.
yeah.
This is Portland wrestling, so I guess like it's just a start. So you see a very like an imperfect version of what we would get in the future. I'll say that. Not the best Daniel Bryan performance I've seen.
I also watched a match where he fought Vampiro, and this was on the Death Thrones of WCW. He was there. That match was quick, thank God. Okay. To wrap it all up, Luther, he's definitely a man that's had a lot of matches. If you go on his cage match, there's a list of them. Deathmatch legend. I don't think that I can crown him that. I don't think that I can give him that. I don't think that I can give him that title. No disrespect to him, but just me personally. And Cyrus is more qualified to talk about this because he's watched more death matches than pretty much everybody. I can't do that. Not from what I saw.
I'm not going to crown him a deathmatch legend. I'm not going to craft him as a legend. I'm just going to say he is a guy that had matches. Watching the Sabu match, it reminded me when I was watching Gangrel wrestle like 3 years ago.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
Not it.
He kind of does with the bald head. He does kind of look like Gangrel.
Yeah.
He does the whole tongue out thing too. Like they could be brothers.
I want my time back. I need the Hart family to release a statement on this.
The surviving members of the Hart family are going to like release a statement.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Bret Hart to apologize for this.
That's our show for this week. As always, you can follow us at RNC Radio on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. This week we have a new episode of The Challenge. We got a new episode of Mount Silver Podcast talking about the Pokemon League Championship. New episode of the A Show. New Japan Wrestling is back. They also give their backlash prediction.
Boy, are they back.
Oh, yeah, New Japan Cup, baby. They're back. The season finale of Chatting with Nelson is up to give that shout out. A special episode of The Lookout where Zeno Robertson joins the boys and they talk about his debut is Hawks. That's a good talk right there. Ugly Radio, a new episode of Ugly Radio was up. New episode of The Black Variant. They talk about the ongoing protests, but in the it's cool because it's in the context of like comics and pop culture, because as always, like with comics, say like the X-Men, it's about current events. It's about civil rights. So there's a good talk there. As always, join us every Friday. We will be here talking about NXT and AEW. Looking forward to, I guess we're looking forward to Firefest, which is going to happen in a couple weeks. So for myself and Cyrus, have a safe weekend, and we'll see you back next week.